Hello and welcome to Give It a Rest, the podcast where we talk about common practices, beliefs, and ideas that need to be put to rest for the greater good. My name is Joy and I'm your host. This is episode 3. Welcome back, everybody. Super happy to have you here. I'm going to begin with a review because I love when y'all send me reviews. I really appreciate it. It helps me grow and it helps me reach more people. So thank you. This one is from Dr. K. I love her so much. This is my IG friend turned real life friend. So IG turned IRL. Love you so much. This is what she said. These short episodes are packed with self-empowerment, self-love, and self-affirming energy. It's already becoming my favorite way to start my day. With a little heart. Thank you so much, Kristen. Love you so much. And I hope that this episode resonates with you as well. Today we are talking about pessimism. It is a nasty disease. We need to stop it from spreading. There's not nothing good, but like I can't deal with it and I avoid it at most costs. Like I'm a realist, not a pessimist. I also think I'm a bit of a cynic. But anyway, let's get started. Y'all know I love to start with a definition, so here we go. I asked my phone, define pessimism, and this is what she said. She said it is a tendency to see the worst aspect of things or believe that the worst will happen, a lack of hope or confidence in the future. Okay, so that's pessimism, and I personally like to define it as bad attitudes. Bad attitudes. So let's get right on into it. Have y'all ever walked into a room, or no, have y'all ever been sitting in a room and somebody walks in and like all of a sudden there's this wave of just bad, weird energy? Okay, well, if you haven't felt that before, then maybe you're not paying attention enough. But for me, it happens. It doesn't happen all the time, but I pick up on it very, very acutely. Like, I don't know if this is a thing or not, but HSPs, like highly sensitive people, I feel like I'm one of them. Never had a diagnosis. I don't know if there even is a thing for that. But I just feel like I can feel people's energies like very, very sensitively. And so I'm super aware of like what's going on, who's in the room, what's kind of coming and going because like it affects me whether I want it to or not. So in the same way that you can feel bad energy coming into your space, coming to awareness, you can also feel good energy. So think of people who you see and immediately you're like, oh, I feel good now. Like I feel comfort. I feel just some sense of like everything's going to be okay because either this person that I know just walked in the room and like, you know, something about them is just like warm and bright, or someone you don't know walks into the room and they're just warm and bright and sunny, and for whatever reason or another, like you pick up on that, and so it elevates the energy in the room. But yeah, you want to be one of the people who is looking for the good in the world. And I know the world is a scary place, lots of crazy things happening all the time, and like people doing this on purpose, but you don't have to contribute to it. When I think about pessimists, I think about people who are always like counting themselves out before the event even occurs. Like you're always looking for something bad to happen, or like this is happening. I've had a bad day. I have a bad life. I'm having a terrible year. I'm having a terrible month. Like maybe you're just having a terrible time right now, and the rest of it doesn't have to look like this. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't have to be this way forever and at all times, because you have the power to change your circumstances. And I know some things, sometimes the cards we're dealt are not ideal, but you still have to play your hand. Like you have to play the hand that you are dealt. Why not make it a good effort? Another reason why pessimism is really terrible, it's because like one, it sucks the energy out of a room, but it also can suck the energy out of yourself. Like it's very exhausting to just be negative all the time and just assuming the worst. Just and when you expect bad things to happen, it's wild because then they do. But when you look at it the other way, when you expect good things to happen, it's inevitable that they will. And I was looking up quotes to use for this episode, I was doing a little research. Y'all, I'd be working for you, okay? I was looking up quotes, and the one that came to mind for me was "Seek and you shall find." And I was like, where is that from? So then I asked my phone, and it was like, oh, this is from the Bible. And I'm like, the Bible? Here we go. All right. But it's in Matthew. It's chapter 7, verse 7, and it says, "Seek and you will find." And I didn't really read the whole application of how it goes in the Bible and all that, but it's still important and very applicable here in modern day life. And you don't have to be Christian to identify with this. Seek and you shall find. It's kind of like the thing with, when you're getting a new car or you're, in the market for a car or something. So you look up the car, you might test drive one or two. And then as soon as you get your car, all of a sudden you start seeing the same one. Like, oh, I'm looking for a yellow Volkswagen Jetta, okay? I'm looking for that car, so I got it. And now every time I'm driving, I see one. They don't come in yellow, but I guess a bug. You could be looking for a bug. And everywhere you go, you see one. Like, you start seeing them all the time because it's now in your awareness. You were looking for one for you, and now, like, you see them everywhere. And I also think it's the same way with us just in life in general. So my mom, she is someone who always wins. She always wins the raffle or the sweepstakes. Like, oh, Chase is going to pay somebody's bills. All you have to do is just like have an account. So she'll get an email like, oh, we're going to pay this bill for you. Like, that's her. She always wins the raffles at work, at parties, at whatever it is. She's going home with something. And I am not that way in that sense. I'll be like, oh, I never win anything. And so I don't usually win. For the off chance that I do, I'm like, what's going on here? But because I really feel like because she puts it out into the environment, she puts it out into the atmosphere, I always win. I'm very lucky. Like, good things happen to me. It actually does happen. And for me, on the other hand, I feel like when I'm driving, if I'm going somewhere and parking is terrible, I'm never worried because I always find good parking. I always find great parking. And I have I have friends and family who can attest to this. Like, I will be on the phone with them, like, oh, I'm late, da 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 da. I'm here, it's packed, they're doing a car show. And then all of a sudden, a parking spot will just appear out of nowhere. It could be the club, it could be the grocery store, it could be post downtown and I'm trying to go to yoga, but like a parking spot will appear for me because I always find great parking. And I truly believe that one, I'm God's favorite. So there's that. But aside from that, I'm always speaking good things into the atmosphere. And so they happen. The same way that other people can pick up on your energy, the universe is listening too. Like, I don't know how else to put it because the universe can pick up on your energy and you get back what you put out. I'm a strong believer in that. You get out what you, or what? I said it wrong. You get back what you put out into the world. And it's the same thing with your attitude. Like, if you have a terrible attitude about life in general, then life is not going to be too kind to you. And that's that. If you look for bad things to happen to you, you're going to find them. And if you look for good things to happen to you, you're going to find that as well. So let's get into our actionable steps. Step 1, look for good things to happen to you. Like, just be like, I can't wait for great things to happen. I don't know if y'all have seen on TikTok, but they'll be talking about lucky girl syndrome. And they're like, oh, if you speak into existence that you're the luckiest girl in the world, or you're so lucky, good things always happen to you. And then just start watching great things appear. Watch great things just happen. And it's really real. Like, the power of the mind is crazy. And I know this subject might sound a little woo-woo, like, but I urge you to give it a try. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so that is step 1. Look for positive things. Look for the good in every situation. And this is not a toxic positivity podcast. That's not what this is at all. But what I am saying is to change your mindset. Step number 2, speak it into existence. Write down 3 things that you want to happen for you or that you're looking forward to happening to you. Like, one example, like I already said it, the parking thing. I always find great parking. Write that about yourself. Good things always happen to me. People are always kind to me. These are things that you can write down for yourself. The third actionable step you can take is to reframe your words. So for me in dental school, it was stressful, and I was like, oh, I have to go to school, da 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 da. But the truth of the matter was is that I signed up to be there. I was actually paying an obscene amount of money to be in that place. So instead of I have to, change it to I get to. And I know it sounds stupid. A lot of this does just sounds really woo-woo and weird, but I want y'all to give it a try and just see how your life changes. Watch it unfold before your very eyes. Okay, so that's 3. So step 1, look for good things to happen. Just look for the good each and every day. 2, change your speech. No, 2 would be to speak it into existence. I always find great parking. I always win. All my friends are great. Good people appear to me. I am a good person. Like that type of thing. Just affirm, some sticky notes, some Mary Jane style sticky notes. And then 3, reframe your speech. So you got to speak it into existence and you need to reframe your speech of what is already happening here. Okay, and then the 4th thing, I have some journal prompts for you. For this, if you're not really a journal girl, then I'm sorry, don't do this, or just think about it in your head. Maybe talk to a friend about it. You can also use your notes app. I love the notes app because I might not always have like my designated journal because I'm chaotic, but I always do have my phone with me or my laptop. It's one of the two. And so this is what we're going to chit chat about to ourselves, with ourselves, or even to a friend. 1, what can I learn from this situation? Situation, misfortune, unfortunate event, series of unfortunate events. What can I learn here? Step number 2, what can I do to avoid this in the future? Step 3, is there anything I can do right now to set myself up for future joy? Isn't that the goal? Don't we all just want a little joy in our lives? Like, not just me. Obviously, everybody wants me in their lives, but you want your life to be joyful. You want it to be full of joy. And I know that every day is not going to be rainbows and butterflies. That's unrealistic. And it's also setting yourself up for a disappointment if that is what you seek. But what can I do right now to set myself up for future joy? And sometimes that looks like just going in a room, isolating yourself so that you don't pick up negative energy or give it off. If you're not having a good day, there's no reason you need to go spoil anybody else's. Some examples of things you could do right now. Like I think about this for me because, again, I told y'all I really feel like I'm a highly sensitive person, so I have to have methods of like getting myself back on track. So I isolate, maybe read. It could be a fictional book or it could be like a nonfiction self-help type of book. Listen to positive music, take a walk, meditate, call a friend, do a little gratitude journaling. This is a plug for my very first episode in gratitude. If you haven't listened to that, go listen. Gratitude journal, and then maybe like take your dog on a walk, pet your dog if you have an animal. If you don't have an animal, go watch fun videos of fluffy things online, like fluffy little animals online. But just do things that traditionally make you happy, calm, that type of thing. So just to get yourself back to a baseline of, I'm now neutral. I'm not ruminating. I'm not bringing a storm to anybody else's world except for mine, and I'm trying to bring it down a little bit. But yeah, those are all the steps I have. That is what I have to say on pessimism. If you enjoyed this, please share it with a friend. Give it a rate and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you're listening. Leave me a 5-star review. Nothing less than 5 stars is acceptable. Just saying. But yeah, that's it. I hope that y'all are doing well, and I hope that this brings some enlightenment, some joy to your day. And without further ado, I will see y'all next week. Until then, rest up.